All right, let's get to part 2 of this episode 3 that that Reckless Ben has put together.
Don't ever email that one or the CEO is going to be pissed. But according to Ammon, now that I've sent this email, I should be receiving the inventory list very soon. So I waited all day. And I got no answer. So the next day, I sent them another email. I patiently waited again for about a week. And finally,
this is the response. Mr. Schneider, BAM Franchising Incorporation will not participate in any form of communication that appears designed for public provocation, harassment, or manipulation of facts for the purpose of media content. Attempts to obtain privileged or confidential information through misrepresentation or the creation of fraudulent documents. Just for me asking for this inventory list to prove their innocence, because I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to be like, hey, if you're innocent, I want to prove that you're innocent with this inventory list. But now, by me trying to do that, that's criminal behavior on my part. And considered harassment. And we reserve all rights to refer such behavior to appropriate legal authorities. It's an AKA the cops. So don't ask for our inventory list or else we're going to call the cops.
yes, Bricks and Minifigs has officially banned me from ever asking for this inventory list again. And I'm not the only one who's banned from asking for this list.
He promised us a full inventory right away. We've never received it.
Yeah, and every time it's been just absolutely nothing. So we've never gotten anything.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that this isn't a matter of harassment, son, with your twirly mustache. This is an actual attempt to resolve this in good faith before legal action is taken. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing.
We've never gotten an inventory list.
Yeah, the previous owner who got her entire store stolen from her by corporate, I mean, she's legally required to get sent an inventory list, and even she, 2 years later, has not gotten it yet.
It would have resolved everything because they would have had to identify everything in the store, and it would have identified all of Brian's stuff, and they never provided it, so we couldn't then demand the third-party evaluation.
And it's now, what, a year and a half later?
You know, who knows what...
Yeah, and on top of it, they've documented, and this is where he has the problem, is that it's being very well documented that the requests have been made, and they've been made in writing. So they now have a full breadth of evidence that the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs is not acting in good faith, and only he can clear himself. But instead, he's just like, don't ask. Don't ask. Because he stole the inventory.
No inventory.
Dang.
So would have solved a lot of problems a year and a half ago to go, here's the inventory.
And even Brian still hasn't received this inventory list yet.
I've never received an inventory list. I've never received a record of sales because they can't provide it. They opened the store up almost right away and started selling it.
And the worst part about all of this is it seems like the CEO is pretty much just trying to rub all of this in everyone's face. When I turned on the news, I saw this.
Now, as far as offering Brian the inventory, have you gone through the store, figured out what was part of his collection, taken inventory and shown him that inventory to offer that?
We've tried to share those with Mr. Mansell in hopes that he can see, that we were not attempting in any way, shape, or form to withhold anything. Those then were offered to him, and the initial offer was rejected.
So now on public television, Ammon, the CEO, is telling the world that he tried to give us this inventory, but we're the ones that didn't want it.
We do want to help him recover as much of the collection. Our number one priority right now is to ensure that he gets made whole. We know that we have a responsibility to work with him to make sure he does get made whole.
So you've offered Brian the inventory of sets that was in the store?
Yeah, whatever was left over, we've offered that on multiple occasions. So we've tried to make multiple offers, and hopefully we'll be.
Why don't you just outright pay him and be done with it? Why don't you just pay him the value today's value, since you waited so long, and just be done with it. Plus, it will be better for your reputation as a company. But right now, you're bleeding interest. Nobody trusts you whatsoever anymore.
Able to get them to the table so we can discuss it.
And this is pretty much Ammon's game plan now. Go on as many news stations as you can and lie.
The entire time we were saying, hey, we want to help.
The main narrative now seems to be Bricks and Minifigs has always been trying to give Brian his Legos back, but Brian just never wanted them back.
Would you be willing to just take this? And the answer was no. It was attempted to be given to the family, and it was refused. They made the offer and said, hey, you can have all this. And that offer was not accepted at the time.
Well, that's Ammon's side of the story, but I say let's take a look at what actually happened.
Read from the bottom up. That is our correspondence with Bricks and Minifigs, trying to work with them in getting the sets back.
So right when this happened, Brian hired an attorney to reach out to Bricks and Minifigs. They sent an email saying, how should we proceed to retake the possession of the sets/minifigures? And they actually emailed back saying they were willing to help. And then after this, they just never respond. So Brian's attorney sent them another email, just following up on this, when can we pick up the sets? And they still didn't respond. So the attorneys emailed back saying, it's now been 16 days, how can we get these Legos back? And finally, they received a response.
It says, Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson have no legal obligation to return any of the Lego product that exists in their store to you. What? So, yeah, basically they're saying that they're the ones that are not able to work with you, is what it seems like.
Exactly.
They finished this email saying, we consider this matter closed and will not be returning any Lego products to you. So as you can see, that's the reality of what actually happened. But then Ammon goes on Fox News and says this.
So they actually did have an attorney send information to us. We said, great, appreciate this. Let's see what we can do to work this out.
Yeah.
And then we never heard back.
Oh, yeah.
Work this out.
Yeah.
And then we never heard back.
So why is Ammon going on like Fox News then and saying, we wanted to give Brian his stuff back. He's the one that didn't want his stuff back. He didn't want any of his things.
That's my point. I don't know. He's lying.
I truly do believe in integrity. Truly, I believe in the sentiment of integrity, and I believe everyone should have integrity.
But anyways, another thing the CEO seems to be pretty upset about is that when Brian kept demanding his stuff back and couldn't get it back, eventually he had enough. And he was like, I'm going to make a Facebook post about this. And in his Facebook post, he called Bricks and Minifigs thieves and liars. And this Facebook post, really pissed off Ammon. I mean, Bricks and Minifigs is literally suing Brian now for millions of dollars, all because of this. I mean, back when I was talking to him at corporate headquarters, he made it very clear.
Yeah, and first of all, they have the owner and the store owner had all the legal documentation of a legal transaction to consign these sets. And this guy is just saying, well, whatever the previous arrangement was, it doesn't matter anymore. Yes, it does. That is not how the transfer of a business works. You are absolutely insane, dude.
That what they did is technically not actually considered theft.
There is no theft. Do you understand the legal definition of theft? Legally have to be
So
the definition of knowing that the property was stolen or otherwise not known to that person.
And on my phone,
That was not known until Mr. Mansell came in days later and said, I have some of these things that need to be...
and that's another lie again, because
It is not another lie.
So I showed Ammon the security camera footage where corporate acknowledges that they are now going to be responsible for these Lego Star Wars sets.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay him.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment liability.
And after showing
Yeah. Okay. Well, you obviously didn't make him whole. So that is theft.
Him this footage to try to bring the conversation back to reality. This was his response.
Extortion?
Because we caught you guys?
No, because you are attempting to extort us. So
No, that's not how.
that's what you're doing. What you are doing right now is illegal.
No, that's not how extortion works, son.
It's an extortion.
So catching you guys in illegal activity, that's illegal on me.
Nope. We have done nothing.
See, I agree too. I agree. Nope, it's not illegal on us. Thank you for.
We have done nothing illegal, and you are doing something illegal right now.
That is not true.
I don't think that's illegal. I think us catching you guys for doing the illegal thing doesn't make that what we're doing is illegal. That means what you guys are doing is illegal.
Wow, dude.
Okay, you've been asked to leave. Please leave.
We have to leave? Okay. Well, thank you for working with us. And
After just going around in circles for probably 30 to 40 minutes and just, having like kind of less than genuine questions or less than genuine responses being given.
After you just flatly refusing to either pay for those sets or return them. Right. Okay.
Given to me, I was exasperated by the end of it, and that's like when people get tired and exasperated, that's when like we finally got the footage that we can use to make him look like a completely unreasonable monster, but that's what they do is people whose goal is to do those types of things, they just harass and
So did you sell the Lego sets, or do you still have them in storage? And are you just waiting to see if this blows over and you can sell them without making the owner whole?
go after people as long and hard as they can until somebody breaks and says something that then they can use that one clip to be like, oh, look at this horrible monster of a person. So that's what I feel like has kind of really happened here.
So Ammon's claiming that I just harassed him for 30 minutes and finally he got fed up with us, which that was the one clip at the end that I used in my documentary. So I say let's go to the very beginning of the footage, my first interaction with them, and see what actually happened.
So what's going on?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Yeah, literally from the very first sentence we ever exchanged with each other, Ammon's goal was just to lie to us. But anyways, I'm now starting to think that the only reason Ammon wanted us to email him about the inventory list wasn't actually to give us the inventory list, but actually, it was a trap. Yeah, Ammon only wanted me to email him so he can find out my email and subpoena Google and find out all of my private information. You think I'm lying, but they actually did this. They subpoenaed Google asking for all private...
Yeah, this is really weird, Google. I mean, this is scary.
Information tied to this email address, and Google sent them like hundreds of hours of all the raw footage from everything I've filmed to the Lego video so far, all my emails, all my search history, all the metadata that shows everywhere I've been. But anyways, this was the reaction of the police officer after she watched my entire first episode.
I'm really curious to see if this fool even makes any money doing this YouTube stuff. I'm like, if it's enough for him to try.
Also, for those of you who use Google or Gmail or whatnot, consider that this is how Google will react. That they'll give the information rather than making the person go subpoena it directly from who they want to sue. So, for example, if you have a legal case against somebody, which I have in the past, I've had to sue an employer for wrongful termination, and I won a settlement out of that. Had they been able to access my Gmail, then they would have been able to see all of my confidential conversations with my attorney, right?
Travel to another state to go get some footage. it doesn't even sound like his like secret information doesn't even seem credible from my understanding.
No, so it sounds like you were able to watch the video.
I think by secret information, the police officer is referring to the security camera footage that proves that everything Bricks and Minifigs is saying is a lie. My first question is, how could this not be credible? It's literally just video evidence of what happened that night. But at least now I can see why the police aren't listening to me. They're basically just saying that all of the evidence I submit to them is not credible, and therefore, case closed. Ben's wrong and we're right, because we said that the evidence is uncredible. At this point, Bricks and Minifigs is working with the police to just come up with whatever story they can to make any evidence I give them seem as uncredible as possible.
In all of his actions to just generate clicks and likes to get, like social media clout without putting in work and just doing the crummy stuff.
Interesting.
What's moving job?
The crummy stuff.
Interesting.
He seems like a fun gentleman.
No. Oh, and
His MO really seems to follow somebody who's like a paper tiger, right? Like who, like behind, or like a keyboard warrior. They'll make threats.
And this is the craziest part of the video to me. Ammon's claiming that I'm a keyboard warrior. And a keyboard warrior is basically just someone who talks a lot of smack online, but then when it actually comes down to it, they won't do anything in person. Which, if we look back at the footage, I accomplished almost everything I set out to do. I didn't get scared of anything. If someone in this story is a keyboard warrior, I don't think it's me. I think it's Bricks and Minifigs. Let's double check by looking at the footage. Ammon claims with his words that he can give us the inventory list.
We can show the inventory list.
But when it actually comes down to it, he's terrified to give it to anyone. Bricks and Minifigs this entire time has also just been begging me to sue them.
If you think it's illegal, why don't you sue me? Let's go to court. Sue me for us. Sue me. Let's go to court. Let's go to court then.
So when I finally go out and actually sue them, they close down their store. And now Bricks and Minifigs is going to absolute extreme lengths to hide from this lawsuit.
Are you okay if she just gives you the papers so we can just...
No, I'm not accepting service from her. Absolutely not.
And that, oh my gosh, the police department, guys, you don't have the right to do that. He was being served legal notice and you interfered. And not only did you interfere, you then harassed and arrested the people involved.
Bricks and Minifigs is showing all of the signs of a keyboard warrior, but for some reason they think that I'm the keyboard warrior. At this point, it almost seems like everything Bricks and Minifigs is doing, for some reason they think that I'm the one that's the one doing it.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you guys. Hopefully no more issues. There's so many other things that this guy could be talking about, right?
100%. But sometimes, it's a sunk cost fallacy. They just think, I put so much time and effort into this.
No, but he does specialize in bringing down scams. So, and you guys look terrible. You look absolutely terrible, and you've definitely broken the law.
I gotta make sure something happens. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, Ammon just completely proves my point. Obviously, I'm not suffering from the sunk cost fallacy at all. Ammon's the one suffering from the sunk cost fallacy. They literally already admitted to me that they've held onto the Legos for so long, it's not worth it for them to give it back to us anymore.
I'm not going to distribute those things at this point. We've kept them on hold for this long, so...
Let's see what else Bricks and Minifigs is accusing me of. Well, they're suing me for defamation. But this entire time, Bricks and Minifigs is actually the ones defaming me.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm going to burn the place down.
Let's go to the next thing Bricks and Minifigs is accusing me of. Extortion. When they're the ones actually extorting me by saying if I don't let them steal the Legos from us, they're going to make up a reason to throw me in jail.
You stole them, bitch.
I stole the Legos?
Yeah, you're a fucking thief.
Dang. Okay.
You can shut the fuck up. That's your fucking choice.
Bricks and Minifigs is also getting me for RICO charges.
They're charging Reckless Ben for RICO. I think it is more likely that
the police are guilty of RICO, right?
And if you look at the CEO's previous businesses, he actually got sued for RICO. He's the one guilty of RICO, not me. They're also accusing me of sending a sniper to shoot out the windows of the McNeff house.
If you guys want to come to, you can see the window and see where they were shooting from.
It could be a sniper blade on the hill.
When the police got there, they realized it was actually a construction worker who accidentally shattered the window.
It seems more likely that it happened from construction work than it happened from some random people across the way.
But even after all this, they still go online and say it was me.
He's trying to get Ben Schneider for like attempted murder. He's basically trying to set Ben Schneider up for attempted murder when meanwhile it was a nail from his own construction worker.
So what's the moral of the story here? It looks like everything bad Bricks and Minifigs is doing, they think that I'm the one that's doing the bad thing. It makes no sense.
Wow. You know, I'll just pause here for a minute and circle back to my experience with the identity and security company and the story I was going to tell. I have to be brief about it, but I did have to write a report for the FBI in which we were demonstrating what we could do with our products. And we were able to find, through the use of face recognition, several additional videos located at the mall that the convicted mass shooter had appeared in various cameras around the mall. And one of the things he did was he tried to shoot up the movie theater, right? And so this absolute moron, he was walking around the theater but had parked his car like on the other side and didn't realize he had no planning involved. So fortunately, through his own stupidity, a lot more lives could have been lost, but were not, because he just was an idiot. He waited for an usher to come out after, one of the movies let out to remove the trash, right? So I have worked at a movie theater before too. When I was a teenager, that was one of my teenage jobs. He put his cell phone down when the usher left to keep the door propped open, and then walked all the way back to get his car, drove back over with his, guns and stuff. And by the time he had returned, the usher went back inside and saw the phone, picked it up, and brought it to the lost and found at the theater. And so he wasn't able to get in that way, and he lost his cell phone.
So, just to let you know, we call it double blind. The person who committed the crime may or may not be in the lineup or depicted. So I will give this to you. You'll have as much time as you need to choose someone or to not choose anyone. Whenever you're able to feel that you have ID'd somebody, I just ask that you circle it and then initial next to it.
And then, like that?
Perfect.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
Cool.
Really, this was like the final step that I needed. This is legit. We've been able to verify who he is now.
Yep.
Which this doesn't make sense to me either, because if you already know who is the perpetrator and you've got and you have basically face recognition on all of those cameras, and the kind of programs that we put together, one of them was something that could process video very quickly, looking for these matches, and then put it down to like the top 10 results. And then there are experts within the police departments who can analyze the footage and determine whether or not it truly is a match, right? So there are experts who do this. And they could have, if they truly had a case, they could have used that. And by the way, when I called, Utah did confirm that they are a customer of the company I worked for. And that was from 2015 to 2020. This happened years later. So you know that the technology has only gotten better.
So the police put on this big performance to make it look like they're going to all this work to verify the facts. When in reality, they already know who I am. They already subpoenaed Google. They already watched my entire first Lego video. They already went through all my search history. To me, this just feels like a staged performance so they can show the world, hey, look, we verified everything, when if they would have just put an equal amount of effort.
Yeah, because apparently they still want to just be like, here's a lineup. I'm surprised they didn't bring him in when he was in custody and have him, pick him out of a lineup that way, like in person, but okay.
To watching the raw footage I submitted to them, they would have found out that Ammon's just completely lying to them, but for some reason they didn't. A few weeks later, when I ended up going to court, this was the state's response.
My name is Nick Mielstein. I'm the prosecutor. Is Benjamin Schneider here?
Yes.
If you want to take care of that today, we can do what we call a plea in abeyance.
Were you able to see the footage I submitted to the police of our interaction?
I have not watched it, no.
Okay, because in that footage, you can clearly see that the second he tells us to leave, we say, okay, we'll leave. And then he calls the police and said that we threatened to burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. And he was just making up all these lies, which you can clearly see in the footage that we submitted. We were being respectful the whole time. We left the second he told us to.
Sorry, let me look.
And so it makes sense why the police would take me to court, because, he's threatening that we're going to burn down the building and shoot everyone, but we did nothing. He's just saying.
And on top of it, the police had access to this footage that Ben put together.
That because he's trying to. I'm a documentary maker, so I'm making a documentary on the thing. So his logic is if he throws me in jail, then if he makes up a reason for me to go to jail, then I won't be able to expose them for their crimes. So that's the what's going on. It's clear as day in the footage. If you watch it, it seems like they're just making up a bunch of false information in order to silence criticism.
But did you submit that to the police officer?
Yes.
Is the footage going such that it's still going like when you step out the door?
It starts from when we're in the elevator before we talk to him to when we were back in the elevator going back down.
Obviously, a video doesn't necessarily show everything that possibly happened.
So according to the state of...
Okay, you're an attorney, all right? You have visual evidence and you're just throwing it out. All right. Wow.
Utah, the raw video that shows everything that possibly could have happened is not credible and could not have shown everything that possibly could have happened. And they didn't even watch it. Oh, no, could have happened is not credible and could not have shown everything that possibly could have happened. And they didn't even watch it. They're literally just taking Ammon's word for everything and completely ignoring all the evidence.
Yeah.
So where does this leave me now? Not only am I being charged with a bunch of mystery crimes in American Fork, Utah, but I'm also being charged with a second-degree felony up to 15 years in jail in Provo, Utah.
Well, and on top of it, they're the ones, everybody who was involved with manufacturing evidence, manufacturing testimony, manufacturing the circumstances around this, they're the ones who are committing a crime here. And so, I don't know. You guys are doing such a horrible job of not only acting as business owners, but having any level of integrity as a police agency. And on top of it, you dragged other police agencies into it and compromised their reputations as well. Shocking. And I know for a fact that you guys were a customer of ours, right? So you already had everything you needed in order to truly identify what happened, and you just took this guy's word for it, the CEO. Why? Because he's probably a big donor to the Mormon church. Are you guys for real? Wow.
And now that they have written proof that I'm committing all of these insane crimes against them, I mean, obviously Bricks and Minifigs just made up everything, but that's not how the court sees it. The court thinks that these are real. And for whatever reason, the court wouldn't let me share my side. They only heard Bricks and Minifigs' side.
Ben's side was not in the room, was not heard. The court signed an order erasing his published work on the strength of the company's verified complaint and the company's motion, with no one there to say a word against it.
Yeah, the judge granted a temporary restraining order, preventing me from even talking about Bricks and Minifigs, which sucks because this was the night I hit 1 million subscribers, and all my friends threw a giant surprise party for me. Yeah. Bricks and Minifigs gets to just keep spreading their lies about me, and I just have to sit in silence, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. It's crazy to think about.
He acted in good faith. I mean, sure, his style is dramatic, but it's not illegal.
How much public support I was getting.
$200,000 Lego dispute that's turning into one of the craziest legal cases and an internet crusade that is just exploding.
A $200,000 Lego collection. This $200,000 Lego scandal is literally one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
I think this might be the best video that I've seen. This is one of the crazier stories I think I've ever covered.
Run by Mormons.
Legos.
Reckless Ben.
Reckless Ben.
It really seemed like the entire internet was uniting to stand up to this bully of a company.
Bricks and Minifigs can stuff it.
Brick by brick.
Brick by brick! Brick by brick! Brick by brick!
It really did seem like we were right about to get the Legos back, but I was wrong. Now the court has silenced me, and it looks like all the work I put into this was just for nothing.
Yeah, and this happened after the first couple of episodes aired, that he got silenced. At least I believe that's the timeline, because he was able to release the first 2 episodes, and then the third one got held. So this is all very recent.
However, people were pretty upset that I was silenced and decided to protest.
Brick by brick!
It sucks that I'm not even allowed to be a part of this movement anymore.
Brick by brick! Brick by brick!
Or maybe I can be here. I just have to be in disguise so no one recognizes me.
Hey, are you Reckless Ben?
No.
Okay.
All right, I'm here with, what was your name?
I'm Jerome. Just here to support the cause. Just an American Fork local. Just here to support.
Here with Jerome.
I spent the rest of the day protesting for the cause, and not a single person here recognized who I actually am. And maybe the protesting worked, because after a full month of remaining silent, I finally have an announcement.
Well, it looks like I don't need this disguise anymore, because I have my freedom of speech back, baby. I can say whatever I want. I can say Bricks and Minifigs sucks. I can say Bricks and Minifigs.
Yeah, and you see he's in a very tall tower. This is what he got his start doing, is these acrobatic feats.
Just hold people, and look, I just said it. I'm not in jail, which is sick. We got our First Amendment rights back. Yeah.
And now that I have my freedom of speech back, everyone is wondering how Bricks and Minifigs can make up for the fact that they made up all these lies about me to take away my freedom of speech. Most legal experts are saying I could easily win millions of dollars from Bricks and Minifigs, but instead, I have a better solution.
If they want to apologize, they can say that they're sorry by doing the chicken dance. And I will take that as a sincere form of apology. And once they do the chicken dance, then I will know that Bricks and Minifigs is sorry. and we can finally move on to the next video series. It'll be awesome. So you guys might be thinking, why do you want them to do the chicken dance? And there's actually a reason. So this entire time, Bricks and Minifigs always says the right thing, but then their actions don't match their words at all. So I was thinking, well, if they give an apology, they might say the right things, you know, but they're not actually going to mean it. So by doing the chicken dance, I'm going to basically just be giving them another opportunity to do the right thing, not just with their words, but with their actions. And once they decide to do the right thing, then I'll move on to the next video series and never talk about Bricks and Minifigs again. And also make sure to check us out at www.westealfromoldpeople.com, because right now we have 2 new Lego sets for sale that you can buy right now. One of Joshua Johnson and one of Ammon McNeff.
Nice.
And we're only making 500 of each, and once all 500 of each sell out, we're never making any more. And you gotta buy them now, because someday they're gonna sell for like $1 million or something. They're gonna be collectibles. It's gonna be sick. Also subscribe to Patreon. You'll get tons of behind the scenes, tons of extra footage, full interviews. Also, part 4 is coming soon. If you subscribe to Patreon, you'll be the first to watch it. And also subscribe to part 5, subscribe to part 6, part 7, all the way to part 100. We're doing 100 parts. My lawyer said if Bricks and Minifigs sues me, which they've still not dropped their lawsuit, then it'll be at least 2 years and 52 weeks a year. That's 104 parts at least. So come back all the way until 100.
Wow. Yeah, so, not looking good for you guys. I mean, because he's right now just talking about suing Bricks and Minifigs, but he also has a strong lawsuit against several police agencies at this point, so you guys are screwed too. Oh my God, we gave you all the tools and you didn't use them. Shocking.